Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 56 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, we are 28 days, exactly 4 weeks into this college basketball season. Can you believe that?
Well, if you believe in the calendar, yeah, you can believe that. But yeah, no, it does feel like, the first month went by pretty quick. I mean, it doesn't feel like the Arizona-Florida game on opening night was that long ago.
No, it definitely doesn't. I do feel like certain teams have lived through multiple seasons right now. I gotta say, like the Jeremy Schulman interview on this podcast feels like 3 months ago.
Wasn't that last weekend?
Yeah, it was like 2 weekends ago.
My times are all confused. It's officially like the holiday season, and during the holiday season, I feel like a lot of stuff gets jumbled together.
Yeah, a lot of stuff does tend to get jumbled together around this point in time, Jonathan.
I mean, TCU, it feels like they've had 5 seasons already.
Yeah, I drove today all the way from Palestra in Philly back to Syracuse. I'm at 27 games. I will be at 27 until next Saturday.
So you're at 27 in 28 days.
Yes, I am. I will be at.
I feel like you've had like multiple 3-day stretches where you haven't gone to games. So
but I had a triple header and a couple double headers.
Okay. Making up ground.
Well, gonna lose that ground pretty quickly this week because I'm gonna have 5 days without a game.
Yeah. How many days of the season are there? Have you ever mapped that out?
Yeah, no, I've done this math. It's you could do a lot of games.
I wonder what
the hypothetical maximum is somewhere in like the 180 range.
Okay. Is that not counting travel and stuff like that?
I don't actually no, it's more than 180. It's like 240.
Because
I'm gonna have to look at this again. I forgot,
yeah,
to be completely honest. But I did this math a couple of years ago of if you just had a private jet and unlimited fuel, how many games could you go to?
Right. And assuming, you don't get tired or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the big part of it. Jonathan, now that we're a month into the season, feel like we have some kind of stable opinions on teams and on conferences and on where we're going. So I kind of wanted to break down a rankings list with you today. I have a top 10 that kind of expands out into a top 15.
I stopped at 10, but I just I hate this exercise altogether.
I think it's important to kind of reassess where
it has nothing to do with ranking the teams itself. It's that people don't define how they rank teams. I do. I do a power rating, which is just simply who I would favor on a neutral court.
Yeah, I just gotta think who do I think are the best
However,
teams?
we're gonna get to a team and we'll talk about them. And if you don't specify how you're ranking a team, or people don't understand how you're ranking teams, it doesn't make any sense why I have this team here. And we'll get to that.
I think there are certain teams that will rank better right now than they will at the end of the season, just based on the fact that they are built for right now. They are built for what they have coming up versus being built for March, and we'll get into that later. But I think we're both going to agree on number 1, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think we are too.
Yeah, it's Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, they're number 1 in KenPom by a mile right now.
They're number 1. Michigan's number 1 in KenPom by almost
3 points.
They're plus 35. They're number 1 in Torvik. They are number 1 in Eric Haslam's Haslam metrics.
Yeah, shout out Haslam.
Yes, shout out Haslam. Patelis is weeping. They are also number 1 in Evan Mia's rankings. They are a unanimous computer number 1. When every single computer agrees that they are the best team in the country, They are probably, at this moment in time, the best team in the country. Jonathan, do you think when we come into March, we will be talking about Michigan as the best team in the country?
One of the best teams in the country. Listen, this was my number 2 team in the country to start the season. This defense gave them such a high floor. It's right now ranked as the number 1 defense in the country. Spoiler alert, it's like not even close compared to like number 2. But this team like was playing awesome defense in the 2 high major games that they played early in the season, Wake and TCU. We sat there, some people were concerned, some people were alarmed about the results, but the defense was really good. The key all along with this team was them figuring out their offense and Dusty May figuring out how exactly to play this team. And they go to Vegas and bam, something clicks. They score 94 against San Diego State at 1.24 points per possession. They score over 100 in each of the next 2 games against Auburn and Gonzaga, both good basketball teams. And now they're number 1 in Ken Pom. It's not really close. They play fast. They're physical. They're big. It's a really elite team. It's what I expected out of Dusty May and this group when he built this roster.
Jonathan, if 3-point kind of differential is a indicator of variance for the most part in a sample like this, I would argue 2-point differential is the opposite. I think it's a lot more sustainable. You have to be really physical to get in the lane, score, get easy baskets, and prevent easy baskets. Michigan is 6th in the country in 2-point percentage offense and 1st in the country in 2-point percentage defense, Jonathan. That is, okay, they're probably not going to have a 27.0 margin of that throughout the year. But the process is sustainable because they have 3 dudes in there that can be such effective rim protectors. They have 3 guys that are all really good at that. And they can rotate them. They can cycle them. They have 15 fouls to work with between the 3 of them. And none of them are like big foulers. Like Merez and Yaks don't foul. Mara fouls a little bit more. But I think the key for this team is that they have 3 guys that they can give 25 to 30 minutes to. They don't have to play them all together that can be monsters around the rim on both sides of the ball. That's going to give them a super, super high floor in given games because they'll be able to get their easy baskets no matter what. They'll be able to grab rebounds no matter what, and they'll be able to prevent easy baskets no matter what. I can't really see this team getting blown out very many times this year. I don't know who kind of has the makeup to blow them out. And I think that they will be that'll have them in every single game. Just their dominance on the interior.
They're a 25-point Ken Pom favorite in their conference opener on Tuesday, or excuse me, on Saturday next week.
Yeah, unless some team just comes out and drains like 15 threes on them, I can't see them losing by more than like 12. It's kind of just how they're built.
Yeah.
Now, I could see them losing some close games if shots don't fall. As I said on Thursday, I think that they probably played their best basketball of the season in Las Vegas. But I also said on Thursday that that's like fine. Like you don't need to be operating at a plus 40 net rating level to win a national championship. Now, it's helpful. It's really helpful. But you could also be operating at that level and still lose a game. They can win a national championship.
Yeah,
playing at 90% of what they were, at 80% of what they were in Vegas. And like, that's fine. I think that the Vegas run is probably the best we've seen a college basketball team look in November in the last 5 years, at least.
Yeah, I think you can argue that. They might go into like mid-January undefeated. If you look at this schedule, like they're huge favorites over Rutgers.
Yeah, Jonathan, we talked about this on Thursday.
Oh, did we?
I mentioned it.
Okay. Well, yeah, they could be the last.
I mentioned how backloaded their schedule is.
Yeah, they could be the last undefeated team.
Yeah, and I want to get into that one too. We'll get into that later.
It's gonna be interesting. These next couple weeks, opponents are not Not difficult.
Villanova could be frisky. I'm like, I don't like. I'm interested to see what they look like.
Yeah, but you play like your 2 December Big Ten games are against the 118th and 94th ranked teams.
Yeah, not good teams.
Like, it's gonna be interesting if TCU and Wake may just be better than we thought, and Michigan could still have been figuring stuff out, or if Michigan's just gonna maybe play down to teams a little bit this year.
Yeah. I think we're probably also going to have the same number 2 team. Jonathan, who's your number 2?
Purdue.
I'm the same. And for all the talk about how good Michigan has been to start the season, I feel like we haven't I feel like it's kind of gotten put aside now how good Purdue has been to start the season, because Jonathan, Purdue right now is like very near the best offense in KenPom history.
Is that true?
I think last year's Duke team was the number 1 offense in KenPom history at 130.1.
Yeah, they're 129.4.
129.4. Or was one of those Gonzaga teams like a 132 or something?
Michigan and Purdue are kind of the inverse right now, where Michigan's putting on this like clinical defensive performance game after game, and their offense is still very, very good on top of it. Purdue's got this like generational offense, but the defense is still very good on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue is what they've been. Just offensive juggernaut. 7th last year. They're even better this year. And I mean, 7th last year was good enough to be 1st most years in the KenPom era. Just how good offense was around the sport last year, and how good, not necessarily how good offense was, how good the top teams in the country were last year on both offense and defense. Dropped 87 in 69 possessions, 1.26 points per possession on the road at Alabama, 1.18 against Memphis, 1.3 against Texas Tech. Those are their 3 kind of big games. Obviously, Akron kind of looks like a big game right now. That was obviously at home in a bye game, and then they killed them, and they had 1.35 points per possession. But that's kind of a different story. Again, another team that plays Rutgers, man. Pray for Rutgers. Rutgers plays Purdue and Michigan this week. They will be 5-5 going into the Jersey Hardwood Classic that I will be at on December 13th against Seton Hall.
Yeah, they're
Prudential Center, so they could be 5-6, and
they're at a tough spot.
Yeah, we will not be talking about them in our top 10s.
No,
but Braden Smith, I mean, he's going to be a first-team All-American off of basically name alone, and he earned it. 4 games this year with double-digit assists. He's chasing Bobby Hurley's record. CJ Cox has been awesome. I think kind of underrated storyline is Jack Benter has made 8 threes right now, and like they're getting production from guys that you don't think about a ton. Jakari Harris and Benter kind of being those 2 right now. Once Liam Murphy comes back, if he does come back, they'll get production from him too. And then Omer Mayer, who we've mentioned on this podcast, but a guy that comes off the bench, plays 40% of the minutes. Daniel Jacobson, a guy we've been talking about on this podcast for a while. Like, they have maybe the best big 2, and if you want to expand to big 3, one of the best big 3s in the country with Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Renn, and Fletcher Lawyer. But their bench is producing at a high level right now, and obviously CJ Cox doesn't come off the bench, but they've got good. They're getting good production from those guys too right now.
Yeah, I think they're just clicking too highly offensively right now to rank them any lower than this. I think you could argue them being 1. They dominated. They dominated teams, not the same caliber of teams that Michigan did, but they dominated 2 teams, or I should say 1 team in their MTE. It just happened earlier, so maybe a little recency bias, but like the numbers back up Michigan being the number 1 team in the country right now.
We'll talk about this on, I believe, a Friday preview pod. But
the Iowa State game over the weekend.
Iowa State on Saturday. That is number 2 versus number 4 in KenPom, Jonathan, and it is at a home venue. at Mackey Arena, a place that absolutely buzzes. And it's the 4th biggest game of Saturday, according to FanMatch, Jonathan. Saturday is going to be one of the great college basketball days of the year, and I will be at Lemoyne Binghamton, which is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Purdue Iowa State. We both, I believe, have the same number 3.
Duke.
Yes, Duke is my number 3. I like the Duke team. Defense is really strong. Offense is really strong. Kind of teams that play fast offensively and slow defensively, like that's kind of the formula you look at when you're trying to figure out, hey, who has the best athletes? Because if you can dictate the pace on both sides of the floor, if you want to force possessions to be longer on defense, shorter on offense, it just means you're preventing easy shots and you're getting easy shots. That's kind of hey, who has the best athletes and who has the best kind of schemes to work with their athletes? That's Duke. That's Duke right now. They're up there for that. Obliterated Niagara, obliterated Howard, obliterated Army, they have done like everything they need to do in their bye games. They've done everything they need to do in their three notable games. Cam Boozer looks like the best freshman in the country. Kind of talk a little bit more about that Arkansas game. Jonathan, I know you were there.
Yeah, there are a couple things that I noticed. One being, this is the best that Duke's looked under John Shire this early in the season. And it's also the hardest schedule they've had in the non-con under John Shire. So
and it's not done.
Right. They got Florida, Michigan State this week. Texas Tech follows before
Michigan
in
February.
Yeah. So
isn't that going to turn out?
Boy, am I glad that we don't have to play them until February right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the intriguing thing about Duke right now is that they're playing this well, and I don't think that they've reached their ceiling yet. I don't think they're going to for maybe a couple months. John Shire's teams always get better throughout the season, and they're still beating high-level competition, like playing like this. I think one of the reasons that they're playing so fast offensively right now is because they don't have like a ton of answers and self-creators in the half court. I think a lot of what they've done in the half court has been off of sets that they've run. Otherwise, they're getting out and pushing in transition, getting up quick shots. I think as they go on throughout the season, we'll see that number, that average possession length number, come down a little bit. And the defense, I think, will stay largely the same. Like, they have really good point of attack defenders. They have good rim protectors. They get in gaps. They force turnovers. It's a really well-rounded defense, which has always kind of been the case under Shire early in the season.
Yeah, I think kind of having Malik Brown, having Cam Boozer, Dame Sarr, just playmakers. Like, Duke has a ton of defensive playmakers. And, like, Isaiah Evans, like, he might not be the best, like, man-to-man, one-on-one, possession-by-possession defender, but he's a defensive playmaker. He comes up with big plays. Gongba, like, definitely has his faults defensively. I don't think he's Kaman Malawach, but he's a defensive playmaker. I think Duke is full of defensive playmakers, and they can do that. And they also have elite size. Dame Sarr is an awesome defender. And I think he's ahead of where I thought he was going to be offensively in terms of his shooting. He's shooting 36% from three. I was not sure he was going to be there. And he's efficient. He gets to the line, just can't make a foul shot right now. But have been impressed with him. Again, the whole debate with this team is like, hey, is this team going to be best? Is this team at its best when Caden Boozer's the point guard or when Caleb Foster's the point guard? I don't know. Caleb Foster played his best game in a Duke uniform, probably on
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday night against. He had 15 and 8. Like that, I think 15 was a career high. 8 assists was probably a career high as well. So I was really impressed with him. But I do think kind of that their ceiling will come with Caden Boozer if like they're going to be that good. But I think the hope is that both of them can be really good. Duke has 6 guys that have made 10 threes, Jonathan. I don't know how many teams in the country have that.
Yeah, and Caleb's actually shooting the highest percentage on the team right now at 48%. Like, he's not a guy you think as an elite shooter, but he shot it well so far. And like, if he's gonna make defenses pay for leaving him open, it's gonna open up a lot more for their offense.
Yeah, like Cam isn't Cooper. Like, he's not as dynamic with the ball in his hands in terms of like creating off the perimeter, but he's stronger. He's more polished as like an interior scorer. So I think it'll work. Like, I think he'll put up better numbers than Cooper, and he is doing that. Like, he's averaging like 23 a game. I don't think, and I think he has kind of more reliable ways to get a bucket at the college level right now. I also think that kind of means he's probably easier to shut down if you have NBA level athletes. Arkansas's NBA level athletes have been bad this year,
and a lot of them are in the backcourt. I wouldn't call Pringle and Ewan NBA level athletes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been bad. Like, Flory kind of gave Cam a little bit of trouble.
I'd say a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
he did not shoot the ball well.
Got into foul trouble. I do think that NBA, like those high-level NBA athletes, will be giving Cam trouble. How many of those are you running into in the ACC?
Caleb Wilson, but I would imagine Caleb's not guarding Cam.
And how many of these guys would Cam just be able to kind of pull out onto the perimeter and shoot over?
Yeah, no, I guess Caleb probably will guard Cam, but that's an interesting matchup. Louisville doesn't have anyone close to Caleb Wilson's like NBA level.
Yeah, who's going on him? Sananda Frew or Tron Hadley or?
Yeah, probably Hadley. I mean, Florida's an interesting test. They got NBA.
Yeah, I'm very, very fascinated by that.
Michigan State, I wouldn't call their post players NBA level, but they certainly are experienced.
They're super disciplined.
Experienced college players, Kohler and Cooper there. We'll see. Like, I don't think that the ACC has a ton of like these elite NBA post players outside of maybe UNC.
Michigan is going to be one of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then Yaks and Mara and Merez against them.
No, I think the league's better overall. I don't think it has a ton of those like intriguing matchups that you were alluding to. However, like, I don't think that there's many players in the sport that are good matchups.
Yeah. But when you get to a Final Four national championship, that's kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas refused to send help, and
yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to be nitpicking when I'm talking about the top teams in the country, because that's what I need to do. That's what you need to expect from the top teams in the country. Like, what have we seen from them? What have we not seen from them? From Duke, I mean, Cam Boozer showed up huge. It was awesome. And he's one of my favorite players in sport. I like, are they right now a better oiled machine than Purdue or Michigan? I don't think they are.
Yeah, I also think that there's probably, speaking to Cam, there's probably a reason that Arkansas didn't double the post, because he's a good passer and he'll make you pay if you do double him. So yeah, like, I think this Duke team is pretty far from where I expect them to be at the end of the season, which is scary. But at the same time, like, they do have to make those leaps.
All right, Jonathan, who do you have at number 4?
Gonzaga.
I have UConn.
I was back and forth between those two.
And I have Gonzaga 5. So let's talk the Huskies. Had a big game on Friday at the Garden. I was there. And for me, this game was about UConn's defense and how much better it is than last year. It's not even like Terrence Reed or Eric Riba in the post. It was
UConn is 5 for me, by the way.
What did you say?
UConn is 5.
Yeah, I just think UConn wasn't getting beat off the dribble. Like, their guards weren't getting beat off the dribble in this game. And so much came down to, hey, Illinois is missing open shots, but UConn is going to give them open shots so they're not getting beat off the dribble, and they're going to dare the big men to shoot. It was not like Andrei Stojakovic taking shots. It was not it was not the creators creating their own good shots. It was, hey, Kylan Boswell is going to take a couple threes in this game because he needs to. It's going to be Zvonimir Ivisic is open. I'll live if Zvonimir Ivisic is going to beat us from beyond the arc. I'll live if David Mirkovic is going to beat us from beyond the arc. And I think that's a good thing for UConn. It's good scouting. It's good everything. They also definitely got lucky with just how many open threes they gave up. But I also think it was the fact that they were making sure they weren't going to get beat at the rim. Alex Karaban for 4 years now has been one of the most underrated defensive players in the country. I hope he's finally starting to get his recognition. I really don't think he is, though. He was awful.
His defense stood out on Saturday or on Friday for sure.
So can we talk about solo ball? How much better he's been on that end? Like, he's been so much better. Still not shooting it well, but got UConn started in this game, and that's huge.
I mean, he's gonna regress to the mean though. Like,
yeah, I mean, look, the guy is shooting 25% from three right now, and he's got a 108 offensive rating and a 53 true shooting percent.
He's a 40% 3-point shooter. Like, that's not gonna last.
He might be the best shooter in the sport, and he's shooting 25% right now.
I think that the first half of the BYU game and the first half of this game is probably what UConn is. The second half of that BYU game was weird. Obviously, Zona, they don't have, a healthy roster.
Yeah, like that's kind of my thing. Like, we'll talk about this when we get to Arizona. The fact that UConn was even kind of able to battle back in that game without Terrace against a physical team. Yeah, like that shows something to me. Now Mullins is back. Now Furphy, like they'll find time against like some of the lower Big East games. Like they play Butler home. Obviously Butler's not bad, but like they'll find a way.
Has he played many games this year?
Yeah, Furphy played a couple of minutes against Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, just redshirt him. Like, you don't need him.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to see a lot of Mullins though. We're going to see a lot of Braylon Mullins. He might slide in the starting lineup by January, but Jalen Stewart's been really good. I think J Stu makes a lot of big plays on both ends. I think that's something that UConn fans know. UConn people that watch the team know. Probably one of the more underappreciated players nationally as kind of like a glue guy. And man, just Jaden Ross has been so much better offensively this year, so much more competent on that end. And we already know how dynamic and disruptive he is as a defender. So seeing that is big. But for me, it's obviously Demery changes everything with how you attack and how you guard the ball. But Mullins coming back. Only 10 minutes, was on a pitch count, was on a 15-minute pitch count. Hurley didn't get him in for a second run in the first half, but looked a little uncomfortable. He'll be fine. Allen Fieldhouse, though, really tough spot to play your second college game.
Yeah, I think if you look at Silas Demery, his assist rate from last year to this year and how much it's gone up, that's part Silas Demery being Silas Demery, but at the same time, like, I think it's UConn and what they do offensively. Like, this is a team that screens a ton off the ball to free up guys, and his playmaking has translated quite nicely to this offense.
I've been to 3 UConn games so far. I'll be at probably 2 or 3 more for the rest of the year before the Big East tournament. So I'll see this team plenty. We'll talk about this team plenty. Let's talk Zags. I have the Zags 5. Jonathan has them 4. Jonathan, why are we not alarmed by the Michigan game? And is the answer anything besides Michigan was doing that to whoever was in their path?
Yeah, I think it's more Michigan than it is Gonzaga. I mean, Michigan, on top of like playing elite defense and doing what they do, they shot 48% from 3 in that game. I don't think that they do that again if those teams meet again. It's just, it was a weird result. It happens, but other than that one Michigan game, Gonzaga had outperformed their KenPom expectation in each of their first 7 games, I believe. So maybe the Arizona State game they didn't cover, but like they didn't really, it was like a point or two. Who cares? So I think that like I can excuse that game.
They covered by 1.
Oh, okay. So Gonzaga's playing at an elite level in every game outside of that one. And, maybe it's a matchup thing. Maybe it's just, wrong night for Gonzaga, right night for Michigan. They beat Alabama by 10. They blasted Creighton. They blasted Oklahoma. Arizona State was really one of their tougher tests so far with the loaded schedule that they've played. They killed Maryland, who we don't think is any good. I still believe in this team. This offense, I think, is still good. Defense has been, like we've said, better than the last couple years.
Yeah, they can fly.
By a lot. So, yeah, I'm still buying this team.
6 for me, John. Who's 6 for you?
Houston.
Arizona.
Okay, so talk me through your thought process.
I look at what they've done, and I look at a team that, at this point in time, they've gone and they've won, obviously, those 3 big games away from home. And in a late game situation, I trust Jaden Bradley to get me a basket whenever I need it. He's shooting 60% inside the arc. I think he's the best closer in the sport right now. I think they have Koa Pete, who's a high floor guy. They have Mo Krivas, who can kind of dominate physically. This team can really beat you up physically. And I think that plays really well kind of early in the year. Now, I don't know if this team can make an NCAA tournament run because they don't have the shooting. They are 358th in three-point attempt rate. But at this moment, they are in the top 12 of both offense and defense on KenPom. I think that's something you need to look at right now. And obviously, okay, Florida. Who knows if they're good? UCLA. They've looked bad. UConn. They didn't have Terrace Reed. Fine.
Braylon Mullins.
Like, I get that. I get that. This is still an Arizona team that has not given me any reason not to rank them here. Now, if you think there's other teams that have given you a reason to rank them above Arizona, that's fine. I don't even disagree with that. But I think that with what Arizona's done, with the fact that they have the best closer in the sport, and they feel like they're a physical team, kind of high floor, built for early in the season, with experience as well, as a bunch of freshmen that play, really one freshman, and also Karchenkov kind of as well. I think he's been really good. And a bunch of freshmen that kind of play above their age. I think they feel like a veteran team watching them. And I think that's something that plays early in the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get to Arizona for me in a little bit. No doubt that they're a good basketball team, but it just doesn't sit right with me right now that their big wins continue to look worse.
Okay. I think they're better than their metrics resume suggests, and worse than what their quote unquote GP top 25 and 1 resume suggests. Like, GP has them number 1 in the country because he thinks they have the best body of work.
Well, GP is very, very honest that he does a resume ranking. And if you're
they also don't have the best resume.
If you're ranking a resume, I think you can argue that Arizona has the best one in the country.
They don't. It's Michigan, and it's not very close right now.
Okay, let's go on.
Michigan has a win over Gonzaga, a win over Auburn. Both of those teams are probably better than Gonzaga is arguably as good as UConn.
And Arizona has a neutral win over Florida, a win basically at UCLA, and a win at.
But do they also have the TCU and Wake Forest wins? Michigan has 5 notable wins.
I mean, the Wake one is a home game. It's probably Claude too.
But Michigan has 5 notable wins right now. Arizona has 3.
Okay.
I think that's just something to know. And I do think that winning those, and I think style points count this early in the year for a resume.
Well,
by the end of the year, the style points won't matter.
In a true resume form, you're not counting.
I agree.
You're not counting analytics.
I agree. But by the end of the year, that doesn't matter. But right now, when you don't have like a thick stack of results to go through, the style points are a data point within the resume. I think Michigan has the best resume in the sport. I have Houston at 7. I struggled with whether to put Houston or Iowa State at 7. I think Houston's going to rise higher than this.
I was going to put Houston at 4, and then I had to talk myself down to it.
I actually kind of want to put Iowa State above Houston.
Do it. Your rankings.
Okay. I'll put Iowa State above Houston.
Yeah, I'll say it right now.
Like Houston at all. I just kind of want to see them play their best ball.
I'll say this right now. Like, if I was trying to predict who I think are going to be the best teams in the country, in 3 months, Houston's a lot higher than 6th. They have stuff to figure out, and that's fine. You don't trust Calvin Sampson.
Everything's there for Houston, except for the fact that, this team, they're trying to put JoJo Tugler in the Jaywan Roberts role. That's not what his game is. Kingston Flemings is not LJ Cryer. He's different. He's awesome. That's fine. They have 2 point guards. This team needs to play like a team with 2 point guards and not play like a team that is a post-oriented.
with no point guards.
Yeah. JoJo Tugler's usage rate was 16 last year. It's 24 this year. Milos Uzan and Kingston Fleming are 21 and 22 usage rates. I think each of those guys could handle a 23 or 24 usage rate if you bump JoJo Tugler's down. I honestly think Chris Sinak should probably have a higher usage rate than JoJo Tugler. I'm fine with E-Man having a high usage rate, just kind of taking as many threes as he wants. That's kind of his game. I think this team kind of will hit its ceiling when Isaiah Harwell gets going. We've seen some good stuff out of Chase McCarty. I've been impressed with him.
I disagree. I think he's shooting way too many threes.
I agree with that.
He could not shoot in high school from what I've watched, and he's still.
I think on the defensive end he's looked good. On the offensive end he's
a great defender. He always has been a great.
On the offensive end he's looked bad. But again, this is the stuff that gets fine-tuned over the course of the year for Houston. They will be fine. Right now, they're not there. They have all of the bones of a national championship contender. But if you put Houston into the NCAA tournament right now, if you made a bracket right now, I could not in good faith tell you that Houston would be one of the teams that I would be considering to win a national championship.
If anyone wants to bet me that Houston won't be a top 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, great, hit me up.
I never said that.
No, I'm not saying you. You have 2 spots below I do. There are probably some people that think Houston's not a top 15 team after this last week.
This week was concerning in terms of what they are.
No, I'm not concerned at all.
In terms of what they are right now. But the good thing about Houston is, what did they do last year? Basically the same thing. They were 4-3.
Last year, they went to Players Era. They played shit against Notre Dame. Okay. They played shit against Notre Dame this year. They lost an OT game to Bama. Okay, they lost a close game to Tennessee this year. And then they lost an OT to San Diego State. Well, they won in OT against Syracuse this year. So, they started 4-3. They're, 7-1
yeah,
right now?
And again, it's what I was going to say. Houston doesn't have another, notable game until December 20th. Their early Big 12 schedule is fairly favorable in that they don't play Iowa State, Arizona, BYU, who are the other top 3 teams in that conference right now on KenPom, until at least February. They do play Texas Tech pretty early, twice, but their first one's at home.
When did Houston's season flip?
Last year?
Yeah. When would you say their season flipped?
Honestly,
They nearly lost at UCF in mid-January.
Yeah, but they'd also already beaten BYU by 30 and Kansas State by 30 at that point.
Correct.
If you want to say their season flipped at the double overtime game at Kansas, like fine. I think their season flipped right after Players Era.
When they beat Butler by 28.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Like they took a week off. They got back to themselves. I want to see that they play Florida State this weekend. Obviously, Florida State's probably around the same level as Butler was last year.
What did Butler finish last year in Ken Palm?
75.
What's Florida State right now?
82.
Let's talk after next weekend.
Look,
I'm not saying that all you need to know about Houston's going to come down to this Florida State game, but I don't know, there just is so many issues I can point to right now, and they're still number 6 in Ken Palm and 7-1 and went 2-1.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They are the reverse of Arizona. I think Arizona's built for early in the season. Houston's built for late in the season.
Sharp is going to shoot better. Uzan's certainly going to shoot better. He looked awful again. It's looked awful again early in the year. Flemings is already clicking for them. JoJo Tugler, you want to talk about that they're trying to use him in the way they used Juwan Roberts. Tugler's usage rate's higher than Roberts' was last year. It's that egregious. I don't know if this still holds true, but on Monday when I was looking at it, Tugler post-ups were the most used Houston play so far this season. And I think there's room for Sanak to grow. I think he's going to get better. Harwell has not been good. McCarty will be better on the offensive end.
3 of their important 8 or 9 guys are freshmen. 2 of their starters are freshmen. They're going to get better. All right, my number 7.
Real quick. Hold on. Anything else you want to say on Houston? Because I want to look at something real quick.
No, but I want to move on and talk Iowa State.
Hold on. Give me 2 seconds on this while I pull this up, because I'm going to make a prediction for you right now.
Go ahead.
Right now, Gonzaga, UConn, Duke, Purdue, Michigan. Those are most of the teams we've talked about, right?
Yes.
Those are the 5 teams listed above Houston right now on national championship fame, odds.
Yes.
Houston will be the favorite to win the national title again before the NCAA tournament starts.
Okay. Who's your number 7?
Iowa State.
Iowa State is my number 7. They're number 4 in Ken Palm, Jonathan.
Yeah, they got what I would call a unfortunate but favorable draw.
I think it's unfortunate because Syracuse is not going to be a quad 1 game for them, and Creighton probably won't be either. Yeah,
jury's still out on that Creighton team.
But the fact of the matter for me with this team is they've shown they can win kind of an up-tempo offensive game. They're playing fast this year, and we know what this Iowa State team is defensively. We know that they have one of the best defenders in the country in Joshua Jefferson. We know that they have one of the best defenders in the country in Taman Lipsey. We know that Blake Buchanan is physically so much stronger than he was when he was a freshman.
We should also talk about the fact that they pasted 2 high major teams without Lipsey.
Yeah, they did. And Milan Momcilovic is shooting 50% from 3, Jonathan. Is Milan Momcilovic the best shooter in the country?
I think you can certainly argue it.
Yeah, there's probably 15 guys you could argue is the best shooter in the country. He's
with all due respect to Isaac Trotter, who we love having on this show. He's an NBA player.
Yeah, Milan's an NBA player. I was so surprised that he's 6'8", he's long, he's been in a defensive program.
Isaac's right.
He's got the defensive fundamentals, even if he's not that athletic.
Isaac's right that he's not super physical, but I think that's something that's fixable.
Yeah, I think Blake Buchanan's been awesome.
Can we talk about the fact that Iowa State and TJ Altsberger and their staff might be the best in the country at scouting players for the roles they need?
Is this a Joshua Jefferson, Killian Torrey?
Well, it's a Jefferson thing. We already knew that about Jefferson. It's a Jefferson thing. It's a Torre thing. It's a Blake Buchanan thing. And even more, they got like that spark plug scorer off the bench again with Jamarian Bateman.
Yeah. I love this. I love this team. They're so fun.
And Plata seems like a fairly capable backup center.
They just got to stay healthy. They need Lipsy back for the Purdue game.
Dude, we thought they were a top 4 team in the country last year before they got hurt.
Yeah, I was really high on this team preseason. They're forcing.
There was a significant portion of the season last year where we thought they were probably better than Houston, Duke, and Florida. Maybe not Florida, but definitely the other two.
No, I think we thought they were better than Florida.
I don't know. I don't remember like what our early season takes about Florida were last year.
We liked them, but like I don't think we thought they were like
I
vividly remember saying in like January, like I would be very surprised. I can't picture Todd Bolton holding up the trophy.
And yet you picked them to do it. And you were
wrong. And I thought I was going to be wrong on opening night of the tournament.
You thought you were going to be wrong when you did it? You thought you were going to be wrong on opening night? You thought you were going to be wrong at like 4 separate times during the tournament.
4? Try 14.
No, but like, I mean, that Florida team ran through non-con, then they lost to Kentucky in an epic game. Then they lost at home to Dennis Gates, which was very surprising. And then they lost.
Talking about last year's Florida team when we're talking about Iowa State.
No, they lost in Knoxville, but like nobody took that team seriously until they. I shouldn't say nobody. I don't think I took that team seriously until they went to Auburn and won. But yeah, no, Iowa State last year, to not go off on a complete and utter ridiculously tangent. They were a national title contender last year until injuries started piling up, and I feel the same way right now about this team.
All right, Jonathan, who's your number 8?
I went with Michigan State.
I have Michigan State at number 9. Let's talk Sparty.
So I hated Michigan State last year. I hated Michigan State in the preseason, and I basically have like hated Michigan State from post-pandemic, everything post-pandemic with them. But I'm jumping on early this year. Like this team's better than their metrics currently indicate.
15th in KenPom right now. It's pretty clear to me that like the defensive stability of having kind of Cooper and Kohler there and having Fears on the ball and having Cohen Carr just wrecking shit is like enough.
You and I were
Cam Ward is not going to be the productive beast that Jace Richardson was, but you watch him play and you feel him. You feel that like this is like this team.
You can tell he's impacting the game.
Like you can't really explain when you're watching it, but when you do watch it, you feel all of these different guys. Jeremy Fears might be the third best point guard in the country right now. I talked about this with you, Jonathan, after the North Carolina game. He's number 2 in the country in assist rate. He's like got 65 assists, like 12 turnovers or something.
Trivia time. Who's number 1?
Braden?
It's not Braden. Braden's like 11.
What conference?
ACC.
Oh, Robert McRae.
Yeah, he had like 17 assists in one game.
Yeah.
No, but Fears is awesome. This is the first time since, and I don't want to discredit Tyson Walker, but this is the first time since Cassius that Michigan State feels like they have an Izzo point guard.
Tyson wasn't a point guard.
I don't know what AJ was doing, but it certainly wasn't playing point guard.
Tyson was like a point combo. AJ's a point guard.
No, what I'm trying to say is like this is the first time in half a decade that it feels like Izzo has a point guard that is just gonna like dime people all over the floor.
And he's scoring. He's scoring now.
He is, because people, and I think part of it is that people are so worried about him making plays that he has lanes to score.
And can we talk about like how Cohen Carr, he might not be more than a dunker on offense, but goddamn, him and Caleb Wilson are the most productive dunkers that have ever existed.
Yeah, he draws fouls, which is I think a plus.
He doesn't make free throws.
No, he does not, but he draws fouls.
But the thing about Cohen Carr is that he's taken 12 more threes than he should this year. But he's taken 12 threes.
For those of you listening at home, he has taken 12 threes.
But I feel like, again, you feel him on offense.
Yeah, they just
because every single play is a highlight momentum play. This Michigan State team kind of feeds off of that. They feed off of getting 3 stops in a row. They feed off of that type of stuff. And this is a basketball team in the sense that they feel like they feel like they're coached like a high school basketball team in the most complimentary way possible.
Yeah, they're just super disciplined. They run their stuff. No one guy's gonna take over a game with scoring for them. I think Jackson Kohler becoming a true pick and pop threat has actually really helped them offensively.
No doubt.
I did not see that coming. He hit 19.
And can we also say Trey Fort's been bad?
Yeah, he's been really bad.
Trey Fort's been bad. I haven't felt him watching these games.
You know who's shown flashes for them?
I felt Kurtang.
Kurtang, that's who I was about to say.
I felt Divine Ugochukwu at moments.
Yeah, I think
I have not felt Trey Fort.
I don't know how to put this, but for Cohen Carr, he just I've never seen a guy shift momentum in a game with the way he moves.
All right, who's your number 9?
He could miss a dunk and get fouled, and it shifts momentum.
Who's your number 9?
Zona.
Okay, mine's Michigan State. Who's your number 10?
I went with Louisville.
I went Tennessee.
Ooh, after telling me Louisville was a top 10 team on a phone call a couple hours ago, Sam Fetterman has changed his mind.
I said probably a top 10 team. I have Louisville 11.
Yeah, I have them 10. Tennessee would probably be 11 if I expanded this out.
I mean, look.
Them or Bama.
Tennessee is they're maniacs on the glass. Their front court rocks even if it doesn't shoot. This team's not going to shoot, but they're shooting fine enough. They have one of the best point guards in the country. He's doing so much for them. Nate Ament has been good. He was struggling, I think, in some of the moments against the big-time games, but he still put up numbers. And kind of a bad Nate Ament game is still a productive game. And
I still have real concerns about him.
I do as well. But from what I've seen so far, none of those concerns.
It was fun. It was fun.
None of those concerns have truly mattered. Now the concerns are still there, but they haven't mattered yet. Once they start mattering, is when I can move Tennessee down. But they haven't yet.
Yeah, he's just not going to shoot the ball well against good competition.
Cade Phillips rocks. Another one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he does.
Can I just mention Bishop Boswell was the best player on the floor for a lot of that game against Houston. He scored 10 points. He had 3 assists. But he was the best player on the floor defensively in a game that Houston played. He controlled that game.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a good defender to me. The questions with him has been his offense. I think, if you go back and watch his high school film, and obviously he's 2 years removed from that now. But, he had a little trouble taking care of the ball in high school. He's not a good shooter. But, he gets after you on the defensive end. And if you do that, you can play for Rick Barnes.
But can I also say, this team has a chance to grow in this if, we see more from Amari Abram.
You know what they have?
What?
They have a lot of know your role all stars.
Who did I say was the Know Your Role All-Star team? Oh, Michigan State. Yeah.
Michigan State is the know your role all star.
Yeah, I have Louisville 11. Jonathan, I want you to talk about your number 10 team.
Yeah, defense has been, way better than I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be maybe a top 50 defense. They are right now a top 30 defense. They have, for the most part, controlled the game against Kentucky. Cincinnati messed around with them a little bit, but Louisville got it done there, pulled away for a road win. They got Arkansas coming up on Wednesday, Indiana to follow on Saturday. It doesn't get any easier after that with Memphis and Tennessee. So this team's going to be put through it. But, man, this offense is everything we expected it to be. Defense is more than we expected it to be. And, they just shoot it, man.
All right, Jonathan, I expanded my rankings out to 16.
Okay.
Call me out if you want to discuss any of these teams. 11 Louisville, 12 Vanderbilt, 13 Alabama.
Checks out. Yeah.
14 Illinois.
Okay.
15 BYU.
I think they could be higher, but
they could. I also kind of watched them just like.
Yeah, I mean, you're
have more talent.
You probably watched them play their worst half of the season.
No. I'm saying on Friday night against Dayton, I kind of watched them do the we have more talent than you thing late in that game, and it didn't really sit right with me. They can do that. They do have more talent.
Yeah, this is another.
Is that a night in, night out basis thing?
This is another team that's that I'm just gonna sit here and be like, let's wait till late January, early February before we figure them out.
Yeah. 15 BYU, 16 Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh, thank God, dude. If you left them out, I was never doing a show with you again.
Really?
Dude, I have sneaking suspicions that this could be a top 10 team.
Yeah, and that'll bring us into Tuesday preview.
If you want to watch the most disgustingly beautiful basketball game of all time, there is a game going on in East Lansing on Tuesday. That is the
hold on, Jonathan. Do you want to talk about the first conference game of the season tomorrow?
It's a Southland game, right?
Yeah, it's a Monday night Southland game. McNeese is 6-1. They beat Murray State, Middle Tennessee, and George Washington in the John Gray Gymnasium. I believe that's the Cayman Islands. They have been amazing so far this year. Javon Garcia
only lost to a Santa Clara team that we both love.
Javon Garcia is awesome. McNeese is 78th in KenPom right now. If you'll remember where they were at this time last year, it was 97.
Really
and
good team.
Incarnate Word is not bad either. Now, they don't play a lick of defense. None at all. And they only have one Division I win so far. But they've also only played one Division I
but they have PDT legend Jordan Pike. So how bad?
Yeah, they got Taj Stavesky. They got Harold Woods, who was a beast at Northeastern. They've got Davion Bailey from who was good for them last year, who's playing well again this year.
If you are looking for a mid-major league to jump in and get excited about this year, the Southland has 5 top 200 KenPom teams right now.
Yeah, it had.
I feel like that's unheard of in the league.
Jonathan had that last year.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. The Southland was 19th in KenPom last year after being 29th the year before. Yeah, there were some really good coaching hires in that league over the last couple of years. Matt Brower at Stephen F. Austin was really good. By the way, New Orleans, the team that on opening night beat TCU and also beat Tulane by 20, is now 2-5, Jonathan.
Dude, somebody needs to do a case study into this TCU team.
Yeah, Lamar, Alvin Brooks was a great hire. RGV, Khalil Fennell, I think that's going to end up working out for them. I know they're 2-4, but that's going to end up working out. I did not end up going to the East Texas A&M FDU game last Monday. Sue me. South End.
Wise decision on your part.
So you don't want to talk about any of the other games tomorrow?
Let's check out this slate. UAB, Middle Tennessee State. Okay, yes, actually, hold on. Cal Baptist, Colorado. Both teams undefeated right now.
Give me, yeah, like Cal Baptist could win that game. Sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Who was the highest on the Buffaloes this offseason, Mr. Fetterman?
You.
Ooh, I think you're right about that. Let's check.
Name one good team they've played.
Well, if you're going to discount Washington, by all means.
I'm going to discount Washington without Hannes Steinbach.
All I'm saying is Colorado was.
I'm going to discount a Washington team that is playing without two of its four most important players.
Fair. However, Colorado, 66.
And also playing with Desmond Claude.
66th in my preseason rankings.
My plus 600 Desmond Claude dig on the show anytime hits.
Plus 600. Between the two of us, it's probably minus 600.
I don't know. We haven't done a dig at him in a while.
I don't know, Jim.
And also, Bryson Tucker wasn't playing. So that's three of their seven most important players weren't playing.
Next, you're gonna tell me the mascot's not there too.
What's their mascot?
It's a husky.
No, what's the mascot's name? Oh, it's Dubs! Dubs!
Oh, no wonder they lost. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
I have no idea if he was there or not.
Was Dubs at the Acrisure Arena?
Are you chat GPTing this?
Was Dubs? Yes, I am. I'm Googling it.
We're killing rainforests for this stuff.
All right. All right, Jonathan. Tuesday is a big night in college basketball. Oh,
wait,
could
you not find it?
Can we talk about the way I couldn't find it? Can we talk about the way Stanford won against St. Louis on Friday night?
Follow-up 3.
Benny,
dude.
Gieler.
As far as I'm concerned, St. Louis gets an automatic win.
Benny Gieler was did not make a shot before the game winner. Jeremy Dent-Smith, who we thought was going to be their best player coming into the year, struggled. Come off the bench for start of the season. He made 4 moonball threes from way out there in the second half.
Didn't they have two? Didn't they have two miracle? It wasn't just the one shot.
Yeah. Dent-Smith made a couple threes from way out there.
Okay.
And Oscar Gilte, I think, gave them some really good minutes off the bench. He didn't score. He's only scored 7 points this year. But I was impressed with what he gave them. Obviously, Chizome and Ibuka are amazing. That St. Louis team, that was a fluky loss, no doubt. And they shot 5 of 20 from 3. Stanford shot you play that game in a 7-game series. I think St. Louis wins in 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis, I have sneaking suspicions is a top 30 team, hiding. I know that they lost this game. I know.
Yeah, Stanford also.
I also have sneaking suspicions Santa Clara as a top 30 team after what they did to Minnesota,
mm-hmm.
And after what they were doing to some of these other teams, and they've kind of left their foot off the gas in a couple of these games. They were up 20 on Nevada. They were up 30 on Xavier. They were up 30 on Minnesota. If they win those games by 20, 30, and 30, they are probably 29th in KenPom right now, not 51st.
Yeah.
So I have sneaking suspicions that Santa Clara and St. Louis are both at-large caliber teams.
I'm in agreement with you on that.
That'll move us on. Tuesday. Where do you want to start? You want to start in East Lansing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Conference games, Jonathan, are starting on Monday, and obviously we got a big one on Tuesday in East Lansing. This is our find out what the Iowa Hawkeyes really are. Jonathan.
If Ben McCollum wins this game, I will
wait. I gotta find a tweet.
I know exactly what tweet you're finding. I know exactly what tweet you're finding.
Hold on, I've got to find it.
Is this a Benjamin J. PK tweet?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
An hour and 5 minutes, and we haven't talked about Lane Kiffin. We're probably the only podcast in the country that's gone an hour and 5 minutes in the last 3 days without.
You want to talk about Lane Kiffin? I'm down to talk about Lane Kiffin.
Let's save it for the end. Save it for the end. Get the tweet.
The I College Basketball podcast talked about Lane Kiffin.
We can talk about Lane Kiffin, but we're a basketball podcast first, though.
I've got to find this tweet.
We only talk about two things: basketball and mascot attendance.
Yes. All right, let me find it.
PK's account, I think, is...
Here it is. Ben McCollum, who has never won a Big Ten game, ahead of Brad Underwood, who has won 2 Big Ten tournaments and a regular season title, is insane.
And
My reply, Ben McCollum, who has never lost a Big Ten game, behind Tom Izzo, who has lost hundreds, is insane. We finally get the matchup that we've all been waiting for.
Hey, and Ben McCollum, if he wins on Tuesday, will still not have lost a Big Ten game. Even if he does lose, he will have only lost 1 Big Ten game. Tom Izzo has hundreds.
How many Big Ten games has Tom Izzo lost? You guess?
132.
I'm going to go like 150. 173.
Whoa, that's a lot more than I thought.
Whoa!
Whoa!
This is off the rails. We have gone completely off the rails.
173. Wow.
Jonathan, this is going to be a gross display of our sport.
No, I think it's going to be like disgustingly beautiful. Like it's going to be physical. There might be a lot of fouls. If there's not, though, it's going to be a great display of like teams getting into their offense and playing in the half court.
Yeah, like again, as I said, like in the most complimentary way possible, this is going to feel like a high school game.
Yeah.
Like teams that will play to their identity no matter what, and they have elite point guards. Jonathan, this could be 2 of the top 5 point guards in the sport.
Yeah, Benito versus Jeremy Fears is what this sport is all about.
Yeah, I love this because, like, look.
That is Benito Sturtovich, by the way.
Yeah, Benito Sturtovich.
I don't know if we've actually referenced him as that on the pod.
Have we? Have we not?
I don't know. But the reference for those, if we haven't, is Sam at one point over the summer said that if
in the NCAA tournament, Jonathan.
Bennett starts, huh?
I think I said this like in his first round of the NCAA tournament.
Oh, maybe you did. That if Bennett Sturtz's name was Benito Sturtovich and he was from Spain or, one of the Eastern European countries, he would have gone in the lottery last year.
Yes, it was March 21st. So in between their first round and second round games.
He's literally like a freaking 3 inches smaller Luka. It's crazy.
Plays at his own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Owns.
You can't speed him up.
He's shooting 45% from 3.
He's also like a very good defender, which I think gets overlooked.
Extremely overlooked because like you don't look at him and think, oh, this guy.
Yeah, this 6'4" white kid playing for Drake and now Iowa is a good defender, but he is.
But like he's on it. Like he's on it. Like you have to be.
Also, Michigan State won't get rattled by playing a 61 possession game.
Yeah, like I kind of think this is like where the genius of Ben McCollum, like where we're gonna see like the level to it. Like, is Ben McCollum like going to match up with Tom Izzo? Like that's kind of like that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Like we haven't seen Ben McCollum coach a college basketball game against a coach as good as Tom Izzo.
Yeah, I don't think like
okay. As experienced and good as Tom Izzo.
I think you have to have,
like McCaslin's awesome. Like
you have to have good athletes, I think, to play well offensively against Iowa. They just like
But like Grand Canyon has good athletes. They scored 46 points.
Good athletes that aren't like, idiots. With all due respect.
So that takes AJ Storr out of the equation.
Yeah, it does.
He had 22 though. He was good. They had 1.08 points.
Yeah, I just like we saw what Texas Tech did to them last year, and Texas Tech was a special basketball team.
I don't think Jackson Kohler can simulate JT Toppin.
I just think this is going to come down to, who makes more shots in a 61 possession game.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
Does Michigan State limit turnovers? They probably will.
All right, which of the 3 other like ginormous games do you want to discuss?
So you're talking about UConn, Kansas.
I'm talking about the 3 games that combined for 16 of the last 21 national championships.
Yeah. So UConn, Kansas, Florida, Duke, and William and Mary Duquesne.
No, the third one that I'm referring to is actually the rivalry matchup between Brown and Rhode Island in Kingston.
Okay. Why don't we start with?
Just want to say, Archie Miller's got Rhode Island at 6-2.
Why don't we start with UConn, Kansas?
Is DP playing? Is the big question that I have for this? Because look, everyone is wondering, is he going to play? UConn is finally healthy. Kansas, I hope they're healthy. I want to see Silas Demery on Darren Peterson. I want to see. We haven't yet seen really a full game, because DP got in foul trouble and wasn't, and obviously played really well against North Carolina. But I want to see that full game DP big game at Allen Fieldhouse now.
So DP, if he plays, it obviously becomes a much different game plan from what UConn does defensively.
I mean, you obviously throw Silas on him. You throw bodies at him. You have to do that. But
however,
Flory's become such a good passer right now that
we will regardless of if DP plays or not. I believe we will come to this podcast on Tuesday night talking about a shahada, and Bill Self will lose his 20th ever game at Allen Fieldhouse.
I can't believe we just said the word shahada on the podcast.
That's what it is. It's a shahada.
It is a shahada.
KenPom MVP at Allen Fieldhouse.
For a winning opponent.
Mm-hmm. And a win.
Who's going to do it, though? Alec Millender, baby. Alec Millender shahada.
I'm going to say it is going to be solo ball.
I think I'm with you. If you can't win.
I'm going to say that he breaks out of this slump, hits 5 threes, scores 22 points, and UConn wins by 8.
I would love that. Dan Hurley.
I'm sure you would.
This is something that I was listening to Iron College basketball today. GP was like, "You think Dan Hurley's going to pay heed?" And Norlander was like, "He paid heed 2 years ago." I'm like, "Yeah, he's been through this now."
That game is one of the greatest sporting events that I've ever been to, and it is one of the greatest individual performances by a player that I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, Tristan was unreal in that game.
He was the only reason they were in it.
And
Klingon was all right in the second half.
No, Klingon was awful in the first half.
Terrible.
UConn played 7 guys in that game. Cam Spencer
got hurt.
Cam Spencer was playing on half a leg. Steph Castle was out. Kansas went 9 of 14 from 3. Everything was going Kansas' way in that game except for Tristan Newton.
31 points.
I think the voodoo has a chance to flip here.
Agreed.
You have to be a certain type of team to flip the voodoo. I think Dan Hurley is the perfect villain character to walk into Allen Fieldhouse and walk out with the victory. Just on a college basketball arc standpoint.
Also, you can talk about in that game, Kansas was 9 of 14 from 3. That was not a good 3-point shooting team.
I said that.
They had a good night.
I said that.
Oh, my bad.
Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
I also think this UConn team just straight up matched up well with Kansas. I think Terrace Reed can take Flory Bidunga in the post. I think UConn has the athletes on the perimeter, and Kansas does too. But I think Alex Caravan can kind of shut down Trey White in a way. And it'll kind of come down to, hey, is Bryson Tiller gonna come out and give Kansas a lift? Is Malachi Smith gonna come off the bench and kind of give UConn a lift?
If DP doesn't play, I'm sort of feeling like a 3 of 14 game from Melvin Council.
Yeah. But again, never would be surprised about Kansas winning a game at Allen Fieldhouse. And I'm going to say it, as much as I want to say UConn's going to win this game, I can't pick against Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse right now.
Would you take Kansas to beat the 2016 Warriors at Allen Fieldhouse?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I would take Michigan State to beat the 2016 Warriors anywhere, but
you know what I wear? You know what I would? Who I would take the 2016 Warriors over?
Who?
Canisius on the road.
I don't know if Canisius can win at Glenbrook North right now.
Apparently, not as tough as I may have overestimated how hard it is to win at Canisius.
Yeah, they got pounded at home by Buffalo.
Buffalo still undefeated.
Yeah. We'll talk about last undefeated team.
Currently lowest ranked KenPom of a team that is undefeated.
Florida Duke. As we mentioned, this is going to be a big test for Cam Boozer because you got Condon, you got Chinulu, you got Hauk, 3 guys with NBA level size, athleticism that are going to be thrown at him in different ways, different packages. I'm so excited to see how Todd Golden, John Sapphire, Carlin Hartman, this Dave Glatsky, this Florida staff just kind of throws bodies at Cam Boozer and tries to kind of get him out of his element in different ways.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm going to pull another GP here. I'm going to trust the building.
Yeah.
I'm trusting a lot of buildings tonight.
Duke's lost 2 home games under John Shire, I think. No, 3.
I'm trusting a lot of buildings tonight.
So I think this is going to be a game where Duke needs somebody else to step up.
Blake Hinson.
It can't just be the Cam Boozer show. So somebody else is going to need to step up. However, I think Duke's going to eat the Florida guards alive. So I think it's going to be ugly. I think it might be a little low scoring, but I think Duke wins it, pulls away at the end.
I'm with you. And North Carolina, Kentucky.
No idea what to make of Kentucky right now.
I'm going to say it about Kentucky. Get right game.
Is this the Baylor game from a couple of years ago?
No! That could only be Izzo. That could only be Izzo.
Was that Baylor, Michigan State?
Yeah, in Detroit. 88-61 or something.
You didn't even do that pod with me, right? That was TJ with you.
No, it was Tommy.
Oh. And you called it the most obvious get right Michigan State game ever.
I did. In fact, I did.
No, I don't think Mark had that same effect quite yet.
No, but I do feel like this is a get right game. Obviously, they've beaten Loyola Maryland, Tennessee.
Intrigued by Musa Diabate on Caleb Wilson, assuming he can go.
Mohamed Diabate.
Yes, not Musa Diabate.
Musa Diabate. If Kentucky had Musa Diabate, I don't think they'd be having these problems.
They'd be having other problems.
Is Musa Diabate still in the NBA? Yeah, he played 30 minutes last night. 7 points, 9 rebounds. Jonathan, trivia time. What team is Musa Diabate on?
Is it a good one or a bad one?
I don't know if they're good, but they're usually not.
I'll say the Charlotte Hornets.
Ding, ding, ding. All right, Jonathan.
That's the Duke Hornets, by the way.
There are 25 undefeated teams left in college basketball.
Is it really 25? I thought it was less.
It's 25.
Okay.
This is going to be a long process. Who's going to be the last undefeated team?
I'm going to say, and I'm only going to say this because I was looking at their schedule earlier. Can I divide this into two separate categories here?
Yes.
High major Michigan will be the last undefeated team. Mid major George Mason.
I was right there with George Mason. I was. But
I was looking at their schedule.
I would also like to point out Miami, Ohio. They do not play a top 150 team until December 30th. Now, they play Akron on January 3rd. They will not get past Akron. They will not. I don't know if they'll get past Bowling Green. Miami, Ohio is currently 6-0. They've beaten UC Greensboro. They're good. They're a good team. I would also like to say UC San Diego as a team that I think could be, if they can get past Nevada on Tuesday. I think they get to the new year and they get to Hawaii on January 3rd.
Yeah, so a lot of these teams have like one game where it's like, oh, if they could just win this one, they'll have a shot to stay undefeated for a little while longer. George Mason's kind of that way.
I also think Cornell's kind of a tough game.
Yeah, definitely. But if they can get
your style, but I kind of think George Mason can blast them.
Yeah, that's one where I think it's either really close or, George Mason just runs them out of the building. George Mason has Virginia Tech next weekend. If they can get through that, they have Old Dominion at home, Loyola Maryland at home, Penn at home, LaSalle on the road, Rhode Island at home, Fordham on the road, VCU at home, at Loyola Chicago, George Washington at home. The first top 100 team that they put on the road after that Virginia Tech game is Rhode Island.
Yeah, but VCU is a tough game.
Yeah.
I think they lose to Virginia Tech.
No doubt that all of these are going to be, or that VCU game is going to be tough. But I'm just saying they don't go on the road and play a tough team again.
I think they lose to Virginia Tech. They're all about ball pressure. Virginia Tech's all about taking care of the ball. They've got Abdallah as kind of the great equalizer in that spot. If Lawal can play, I'm taking Virginia Tech.
All right. Anything else?
I want to shout out New Mexico State, 6-0. Strong start. Don't think they're going to go on a long run. They have Tulsa 2 games from now. Tulsa's really good. It's at a neutral site in Frisco. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Tulsa could come into that game, I think, 9-1. If they come out of that 10-1 and they get to Western Kentucky, that's going to be a really interesting one. So keeping an eye on the Golden Hurricane, Jonathan. The Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, we've
who will be the last winless team in college basketball? There are 7 right now.
Okay.
Nichols, who plays a non-D1 soon.
Maine,
who does not play a non-D1 until Tuesday the 30th, but they do have Canisius at home on December 13th, and they are favored to win that game. South Carolina State's
best shot was last week against Mizzou.
It's not going to be Florida A&M. They've got a non-D1. Gardner-Webb's really bad, and they've already lost to a non-D1, but they're not going to lose to Brevard.
Poor Chicago State. They have a non-D1, though, tomorrow.
Non-D1, St. Xavier tomorrow. And then Arkansas Pine Bluff. Yeah, they've got 2 non-D1s coming up. So, could be Maine. Could be South. I think it might be South Carolina State.
Tough year for them. Tough year.
No, probably not South Carolina State. Maybe it's Gardner-Webb. No, I forgot they have Brevard. I thought that was Florida A&M for a sec. I don't know. Who could it be? All right. Jonathan, what do you think of this pod? Let's take us home.
Are we going to talk Kiffin?
Oh, yeah, let's talk Kiffin.
I don't want this to go on forever, but where do you want to start with this? This was
I started listening to the Cover 3 pod.
Okay, that's when things get serious.
I do not give a shit about like 90% of college football. But the coaching carousel, I am all over it.
However bad you think that the Kevin Willard situation got last spring, this was like 10 times worse.
Everything was getting leaked every second, every day. Lane Kiffin, we knew he wanted to leave.
There are no secrets in the SEC.
We knew this guy wanted to leave. He acted like he didn't want to leave. He then acted like he did. He acted like he wanted to stay. And like he's acting like he wants to keep the Ole Miss job, the Mississippi job, just like so he can coach Mississippi in the playoff. No, it's so he can get in the ears of the players and take them with him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about winning if he cared about winning a championship at Mississippi, he would not have taken the LSU job when he could win a championship.
He would have signed an extension.
He wants to be in the room with these Mississippi players, with these Mississippi coaches, and bring them to LSU. That's why he had to kind of issue an ultimatum and put himself against the team and say, look, if you don't get on this plane with me, you're not coming to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Kiffin sucks. I hate him. He has now mishandled 5 or 6 different situations just like this. He is the least likable high major coach in college football now that Brian Kelly's out of a job and now that DJ Durkin didn't get a job.
So there was this article that got published on November 23rd by Brian Scott Rippey. I legit never heard of him before I read this article, but it was very, very good. And, you know, he seems to be very well liked by people that read his work. He wrote the final couple paragraphs really stuck with me from this article, and I'll read them right now. Perhaps he's chasing something that doesn't exist. Lane Kiffin might be truly longing for the next thing he doesn't have. Or maybe he's not chasing anything at all. Maybe he's trying to outrun his own insecurities as a coach, the ones that squandered the national title level roster in 2024. Maybe he's trying to outrun the version of himself that he spent the last 3 years telling the public he's left in the past. Maybe Lane Kiffin is chasing a version of himself he's not capable of becoming. Like, I think he nailed that.
This is like perfect column writing topic.
There have been a lot of good pieces that have come out from this.
Because this is the type of thing where like if you're a smart person and like you think critically about sports, you have a really fascinating opinion on this, and it's not the exact same as someone else.
Yeah.
And that's why I love reading this stuff, because I've listened to so many podcasts about college sports, about college basketball mainly. Now I'm starting to kind of get into the Cover 3 stuff because I need to hear what they think about Alex Golesh at Auburn. God, I love that hire. By the way, Ryan Silverfield, is this the Krista Sandico of college football coaching hires?
What, Ryan Silverfield?
Yes.
Well, it's funny.
When an entire fan base tells you that a player is bad.
It's funny because, you know, I've had, discussions with friends about Silverfield, and like, just from being on Twitter, I know Memphis fans that hate him.
I know one Memphis
fan, yes,
throwing a party
but
on the Twitter Spaces.
I've had discussions with friends about him, and we do not think he's good. So Duke beats Arkansas on Thursday at the United Center, and I'm there to watch it. And then Mizzou on Saturday in football. And then I wake up this morning to find out that Arkansas hired Ryan Silverfield. And I texted my friends and said, I own Arkansas.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yeah, one last thing. I think, there have been some valid points about the timeline of college football being very bad. Rick Pitino even chimed in on the conversation because, what doesn't that guy want to talk about? But I think two things can be true. One, we have a messed up timeline for college football and college basketball, despite what Rick Pitino will tell you.
All right, Jonathan, take us home.
Be the coach at Ole Miss for this playoff run. He could have been.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yeah, if you came hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about mascot attendance at Washington games, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 6, Episode 56 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. We'll see you next time.